Welcome to the Concise Nethack video about two-weapon combat in NetHack version 3.6.6. The Concise Nethack videos show you what you need to know about specific NetHack areas without wasting your time. Some roles can wield two weapons at once, one in each hand. This is called two-weapon combat or two-weaponing. Two-weapon combat can deal more damage when fighting, but there are some drawbacks you need to know about. Two-weapon combat can be extremely effective. For example, with a skilled two-weapon tourist wielding the +7 Silver Saber artifact Gray Swan Deer with two-weaponing with a regular +7 Silver Saber with gauntlets of power and 1 or 2 enchanted rings of increased damage, I can regularly kill minotaurs with 2 hits and dragons with 2 or 3. Only some roles can use two-weapon combat. Rogues and samurais can be expert at two-weapon combat. Knights, tourists, and valkyries can be skilled. Archaeologists and barbarians can have basic skill level. The other roles can't wield two weapons at once. There are some drawbacks to two-weapon combat. You can't wear a shield if obviously you have a weapon in each hand. You have to train up your two-weaponing skill in addition to your weapon skill slots, so that uses more skill slots. And especially when you start, there will be an accuracy penalty and a damage penalty. That means you won't hit as often and you won't do as much damage when you do hit. It's important to understand that the actual skill level used during a two-weapon attack is the lesser of the two-weapon skill level you've achieved and the wielded weapon skill levels. So say you are expert at dagger, skilled at saber, and unskilled with two-weapon combat. If you're wielding both a dagger and a saber, you're going to be attacking at the unskilled level because that's the lesser of those 3 levels. You may want to watch my Concise Nethack video about training skill levels and skill slots. All right, you can see here, if I press Alt-E, you can see that I am currently skilled at dagger and skilled at saber. I'm a tourist, by the way, that just got an early wish and was able to get Gray Swan Deer, I think the most powerful weapon in the game. It's a saber. I've wielded it. I've trained that up to skilled level. You can see this asterisk here means that I've trained dagger up enough to be expert in dagger, but I don't have enough skill slots yet. I have to get more experience to get more skill slots. But I do want to exercise my two-weapon combat some. You should note that you cannot increase a weapon skill level while you're two-weaponing. So I have to first increase dagger and saber if I want to two-weapon with dagger and saber before I train up my two-weapon combat. So there are 3 skill levels that you have to keep track of. You have to keep track of the skill level of your main weapon. You have to keep track of the skill level of your secondary weapon if it's a different weapon type. And you have to keep track of the skill level of your two-weapon combat itself. That's this one here. I typically level up my main weapon like I did here. I brought that to skilled. Then I two-weapon with 2 of that weapon type. So I have been two-weaponing with dagger for a while before I got Gray Swan Deer. Then I may level up a different type of weapon so I can two-weapon with different weapon types. You level up the two-weapon skill just once, then it applies to all weapon types that you may use two-weapon combat with. So you need to decide ahead of time what the target skill levels will be. While two-weaponing, I usually don't increase either weapon skill level above the two-weapon skill level I'll have. For example, I'm a tourist. Tourists can only be skilled at two-weapon combat, so it doesn't make sense for that reason to raise dagger, for example, to expert, because if I two-weapon with one of my weapons as a dagger, I'll still only be attacking at skilled or whatever my two-weapon combat level is. Just like you have to hit with a weapon to advance your skill level with that weapon, you have to hit while two-weaponing to increase your two-weapon skill level. When you have low skill with two-weapon combat, like I do here, I'm unskilled, you'll have a negative to hit bonus and a negative damage bonus. That means you'll hit less often and you do less damage when you do hit. So while I'm training in two-weapon combat, I typically only use two weapons against weak monsters. When I run into a strong monster, I switch quickly back to single weapon to take advantage of my skill level of my single weapon. An enchanted ring of increased accuracy helps you hit more often. Fog clouds and dust vortices are great for training because you don't miss when you're inside of them. So when I get sucked into a fog cloud and I want to eventually train up two-weaponing, I switch to two-weapon mode or switch to some weapon that I want to level up with and attack the fog cloud from inside. Other vortices like ice, energy, steam, and fire vortices offer the same advantage if you are immune to their damage. Note that a ring of increased damage applies to both of the weapons. So if I wield a dagger and a saber and I'm wearing, say, a +5 ring of increased damage, if I two-weapon hit with both those weapons, I get +5 for hitting with the dagger and another +5 damage for hitting with the saber. All right, so how do you do two-weapon combat? Currently, I have two-weaponing. Let's say I'm going to wield nothing here. And actually, I've got a monster there. I'm going to head upstairs so I can show you this without worrying about him. Okay, I have no weapon in my hand. If I hit the Shift 0 or the right parenthesis key, it tells you what you have weapon. I have no weapons wielded. You have to decide which weapon you want in your main hand and what weapon you want in your secondary weapon slot. You start by wielding your secondary weapon. And as a side note, I always keep my main weapon and my secondary weapon in the same inventory slots. I personally always put my main weapon at A and my secondary weapon at T. Since you're going to be switching in and out and wielding your pickaxe and other things, it helps to have not have to look up each weapon type each time. All right, so I'm going to wield T, and then I'm going to swap that into my offhand, then I'm going to wield A, and then I'm going to turn on two-weaponing. So wield T with the W command, and then you hit lowercase x to swap your current weapon into your secondary slot, X, and then you wield A. And then if I show what weapons I'm wielding, it only shows my main weapon because I have to turn on two-weapon combat with a Shift X. I'm going to press Shift X now, and it says I begin two-weapon combat. I'm going to hit right parenthesis one more time to verify that I have Gray Swan Deer as my weapon in hand, and my wield in other hand weapon is my Blessed Rune Dagger. So you start and stop two-weaponing with the Shift X key. And let me repeat those keystrokes. You first wield your secondary weapon, then you hit lowercase x to swap it into the secondary slot, then you wield your main weapon, then you hit Shift X. And you have to repeat that sequence every time you wield a pickaxe or something else. There is an option called push weapon you may want to explore that's supposed to make that easier, and it may or may not. Now let's do a little bit of attacking with me unskilled. I'm skilled at both my weapons, but I'm unskilled in two-weaponing. So I'm going to hit the Hobbit. I actually, with Gray Swan Deer, I hit him once, killed him with the first hit. All right, let's go down a level here in the Gnomish Mines. Let's go to a point where I can hit some monsters. Here we go. I've got a gold golem. I'm two-weaponing. I hit with the first weapon. I missed with the second. He hit me. Attack him again. I hit him and with the first, missed him with the second. Let's do it again. Again, I hit with my Gray Swan Deer seems to be doing better than my dagger. Again, I hit it and I miss it. Again, I hit him and destroyed him with my Gray Swan Deer. I'm going to fight a few more times because if I get 20 hits while in two-weapon mode, then I will exercise my experience level for two-weaponing, and I want to show you that. Let's find a monster. All right, Mine Town. There's some monsters. I have an amulet of ESP, and by the way, that helps me see those monsters before they get close. Okay, a few more hits here. I miss it with my Gray Swan Deer, hit him with my dagger. Again, I killed him. He left me a potion. Okay, killed him. Just a few more should be enough to to level up. How about a green mold? Go downstairs, I'm sure to find some monsters down there. Hit him and killed him. So I hit him with that message. I hit it with my gray swan deer. Then I hit it with my dagger and killed it. All right, a few more. Check, and I am still two-weaponing as I expected. There we go. I feel more confident in my fighting skills. I hit it. Let's hit Alt-E. You can see now that two-weapon combat is available for upgrading. My dagger and my saber are still at the same level as they were. I'm going to press A to upgrade from unskilled to basic on two-weapon combat. There's A. I'm now more skilled in two-weapon combat, and you can see that I'm now basic. That's all I want to cover for now. I hope you've enjoyed this Concise Nethack video about two-weapon combat. Thank you for watching.